Hello everyone. This is the last part for CCNA Connecting Network, Chapter 4, Access Control List. So in this last part, we are going to look at the troubleshooting ACLs. Okay, how do you troubleshoot ACL? And we're going to look at what are the common error or mistake in doing ACL. Okay. Okay, so when you look at ACL, okay, you have to look at where do you enforce it, whether it is inbound or outbound. Okay, wrong enforcement of the packet, for example, is supposed to put inbound, but you change it to outbound. You will have different impact towards how the ACL is being implemented. Okay, right. So for inbound cases, what will happen is packet will actually comes into a specific interface inbound towards the router. So before the router accepts the packet, okay, the packet will be checked through the ACL statements. So if it match, it will do the action, whether to allow or deny. All right, and the last part, okay, remember you have the implicit deny. Okay, so fall under implicit deny. So a common assumption by us is that whenever we do the testing, okay, when we see that the test is failed, we assume that it is failed because it matches one of our ACL statement. Okay, so you need to be sure to check that it does not fall under the implicit deny bucket. Okay. So for outbound ACL, okay, the router will actually receive the packet first. Okay, so before the router forward out the packet to the designated interface, assume that we have an ACL and force outbound over there. Therefore, the packet will be checked. The checking similar as previous inbound also. Okay, if it matches any of the ACL statement, do the necessary forwarding or deny. If it doesn't fall to any of the ACL statement, it will go under the implicit deny bucket. Okay, so the most important thing here is to do a thorough testing. Okay. Okay, so so this is what I've explained earlier. Okay. All right. Okay, so for standard ACL will only check the source address, nothing else. Okay, that is why for standard ACL, you need to configure nearest towards the destination. Okay, so meaning that it has to be configured to the nearest router towards the destination and also enforced to the correct interface nearest to the destination. Okay, so these are some of the limitations of the standard ACL. Okay. Okay, for extended, it goes in more detail to check the whether protocol match or not, source destination and port numbers are they matching or not. Okay, and for here you have to configure nearest to the source. Okay, if you configure at a different router which is far from the source, okay, it may work. However, it is not efficient enough because why? You allow unnecessary traffic to travel into your network. Okay, we don't want that to happen. Okay, all right. So here are some the common error. Okay, most common ACL errors are entering ACL in the wrong order. Okay, so wrong ACL order. Okay, so always check your show IP show access list. Sorry. Okay, wrong ACL order. So the correct order will be most specific top less specific down. Okay, for example, okay, you want to block, you want to deny or permit specific hosts. So I'm talking about it can be standard or standard. Okay, so deny permit for network. Okay, so these are the common example. Alright, so the sequence is important because your packets will be checked based on sequence top to bottom. Whenever there is a matching statement, you won't check the rest. Okay, so example here, host 10.10 has no telnet connectivity to 30.12. Okay, so if you double check here, alright, if you look at the first one, the first statement is to deny the whole network. Okay, therefore, when you do a testing from 10 to 10 to telnet to 30.30, it will always match the first statement. It won't check the correct second statement. Okay, then this is what I call as wrong statement. So solution is to change the connectivity. Then this statement should be reverse, sorry. Okay, the statement number 20 should be up. Okay, the most common, based on my experience, the most common error is because of the wrong sequence. Okay, so in this example, this particular network cannot use TFTP to connect to this network. Okay, so how do you resolve? When you check at the show IP access list, okay, show access list, you will see that the first one, okay, statement 30 in access list allows all TCP traffic. Okay, however, TFTP use UDP. Okay, so in here it should be permit IP any. So if you do permit TCP any, all UDP type of traffic will be dropped. Okay, IP stands for all protocol. Okay, if you permit IP any, you are enabling all TCP UDP traffic from any source to any destination. Okay, remember, for every SSH that you create, you need to have one permit statement. Okay. Okay. So here are another example. Right, 11.0. Network cannot use telnet to 30.0, but according to policy, the connection is allowed. So the policy says you can access. However, the rule which was wrongly configured. Okay. Disable these features. Okay. So the telnet port number 10, statement TCP30 is a wrong order. Okay, again, wrong order. So if you look at here, any, alright, TCP any equals to telnet to any. Okay, these are very general, so it has to be down. Okay, right, so configure TCP deny equal to telnet. So this one should be top, number 10. Okay, you can use the number here to change the sequence, right? Okay, here is another example where you can go through. Okay, take some time to understand. Okay, all right, so it's always the sequence. It's very important. Okay, here's another one. Okay, oh, and the other one, let me write here. Okay, forgot to enforce in interface. Okay, so always remember these steps. Steps to ACL. Okay, the first one. Okay, what you need to know is you need to decide whether you want to do decide standard or extended. Okay, so how to decide? Okay, so it could be based on requirement. Okay, simple as if you need to block a specific port, it has to be extended. Okay, there is no way you can do it standard. Okay, all right, so once you have decided this, you need to decide where to configure. where to configure. All right. So for example, standard nearest to destination. Okay. For extended nearest to for extended nearest to source. So by step 2, you will know which router to configure the rules. Okay, so configure the rules in that router. The last one, enforce at the correct interface and inbound or outbound. So simple as that. Okay. If you follow these 4 steps, you won't get lost in this here. Okay. Right. So this one is in the IPv6 example. Okay. Otherwise configured with IPv6 here to deny FTP access from 10 network to the 11. Okay. However, after PC must enable to connect to FTP server. Show IP access you can see here. Okay. So in this case, it is correct name. However, the direction is wrong. Okay. Just by simple as changing from outbound to inbound, you will have a massive effect to this ACL. Okay. Right. So here another example. Okay. So I believe you can read that one here. Okay. Another one for IPv6. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay, to further enhance your troubleshooting ACL skills, there are a few packet tracer files that you can do, and then we can discuss what are the mistakes happen here. Okay. Okay, so that's all for now, right? So for this whole chapter, we have discussed about standard ACL, okay, which is not new to you. Okay, standard ACL, which is new to you, extended ACL IPv6, something new to you, and the troubleshooting part. Okay, and the last one here, test all ACL statement, the most important part. Statement again and again. Okay. Why? Because I give you an example. For example, ACL1 configure and then you tested. Okay. Alright. So when you have ACL number 2, you configure, then you tested, and then okay. Alright. Don't stop here. Don't stop here. Retest back ACL1. Okay. Why? Because many times you assume that ACL number 2 okay, has no effect on ACL1. It can be true or you can be wrong. Okay, so whenever you add a new ACL, okay, when you do the testing for the new ACL, always test back the previous ACL. Okay, it may or it may not have impact. Important in ACL. Okay, I would like to stress out here, testing is key. Okay, only by doing testing. Testing means not router to router, it's from the host. You need to follow the exact ACL requirement and do the testing. For example, if it's a website, you need to open the web browser in the host and then test via port 80. Okay, to make sure that things working. Okay, all right. So that's all for this chapter. I hope you can understand the overall view of the ACL. Thank you.